What is it?
Huh?
I don't want to steal my shit. It's my money.
You that steals people's shit. Ask Dan.
I do.
You steal the tabloid computers. Just to mess with him.
Yeah.
He couldn't wait on us.
No, we're best friends.
Yeah.
Check.
Right in the chat.
Joining.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good deal.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Travis, all how you guys doing?
How about how are you?
Good, good. All right. I had some technical difficulties earlier. I was trying to use the Wi-Fi hotel in the morning, so I did get sent off. So, Larry, thanks for sending that off. And I guess Aaron, if you're on, do you want to kind of kick off with the test report and some of the things you guys found for Nash, Texas?
Sure. Yeah. Is there anybody else joining? I think it's Travis. I think he's still.
No.
Him and Saul are together.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah. Let me share my screen. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just. This is a report that our in other words, our facility in Mexico has provided for the test that was done for this particular pump, which Usain Paul is from this location, Nash, Texas, right? And I can just go over it. I mean, that's essentially what I did with you guys already. So I just sharing now with this strong interest team. If that's okay. Yeah. So this one is the part number and the serial number. If that's what this was indeed what it was. Initially, it was sent to Galesburg, to the Eden team, and I mean, there, the inspection, I mean, just visual inspection was made, and what we found initially, that there were no, I mean, in general, there were no signs of manufacturing workmanship issues. And then we decided to just went ahead and did a full-blown test of it for the hydraulic side of things. So by the time we sent it back to our facility in Mexico, that's how they received it, which was a little bit, it was cracked open, I mean, obviously, and there's a BSD claim number that was generated from Eden, and we went ahead also to inspect internal components. Is everybody seeing this properly, or?
Yes.
Okay, just okay, sounds good. Yeah, so from there, these are the observations that our facility looked into. So from visual inspection, they could tell there was some contamination in the hydraulic oil, small metal and plastic debris inside the pump. They could also notice a slight damage by the relief valve adjusting screw, so which could be a sign of cartridge tampering. And then here they're showing a representative image or illustrative image showing the oil flow inside the pump, where you can see the where the relief valve sits and how this kicks in once it gets to a certain amount of pressure, and the spool at the bottom, how this changes direction internally. So this is just a cut away from the valve body. Okay. And then they're saying there's no excessive wear found in the valve body housing. The thrust plates are in good conditions. Then it's a closer look on the relief valve cartridge, where they saw some damage on the cartridge threads, as pointed here, and also here they're comparing two relief valves. The one that was already on the pump was this replacement unit, the one on top. The one on the bottom is they just took one from their existing inventory. Like, I mean, this is not a relief valve that we have provided or anything. But they just made it for comparison purpose.
Can-
Sure.
go-
So,
The,
sure, Saul, you were.
yeah, I just wanted to mention while we're looking at the picture. I'm gonna let you finish, but the bottom one is
Yeah.
is the one that they is there from their stock, right?
Yeah. Like, this is nothing that has to do with us. So they're using that as a comparison, like for reference purposes.
So
The one on
yeah, the way I know that this one's already been changed before is because when they come in black because they're painted with the pump. So that one had
That's
already
correct.
been changed. That top one, just going back to talking about the jam nut and tampering with it.
Yeah.
It's been changed. That's why I just wanted to bring that up. And
It
while
wasn't
you had the
original change.
picture of the black and the silver one up, but go ahead and continue.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. This was just shown for reference purposes. I mean, for this what they got. Of course, I mean this pump most definitely had initially from the very beginning. It should have had one that is painted black because that's part of their manufacturing process at the factory from our vendor. But once we made the, I mean, we gave replacements. I mean, I think to your users, I mean, or user. I mean, we went ahead and this was the relief valve that was used, and that's what we had the issue, right? And this is how we took it as is initially. So anyways, it was just, I mean, comparing one that came straight from factory and not even used at all. So that was the whole point of this. So yeah, so it's comparing both of them where the adjustment screw is out of its original position, which could be another sign of this pump running at operating pressure different than the factory standard. That just been showing that this is still visual inspection, no hydraulic test made just yet, which we're gonna get there later on.
And quick question, Aaron, you had a question
Yeah.
during the first initial presentation. Saul
Yeah.
or Travis, do you know offhand if the end user ever possibly, maybe adjust like the setting on those valves at all? Or
I
you guys know offhand?
I highly doubt it. So this one never made it to the end customer. It just went to back to the dealership that sold the truck for an inspection, and that's when they noticed the issue. We don't change them either. Just we leave them as is, in and out. That's all we ever do. So the one that's there that we replaced was one that we received in a Bizarrus box and put in there.
Gotcha. Thank you, Saul.
Okay. Yeah. So next part of the investigation, we look at the thrust plates, which tend to show when there is something wrong with the pump. That's like one of the first things we look at internally for like scrape. I mean, out of the material, or if we see, I mean, like if there's an O-ring or something that it's damaged. Well, this one is. I mean, yeah, it has it on the other side, but that's one of the things that we look into. The pressure thrust plates. So with the one that is facing the valve body housing, as well as the one facing the input shaft, both of them show normal wear due to the time and service of the pump. So it was like you're saying, I mean, it's had not been even in service.
Correct.
So,
yeah, not in service yet. It's been tested.
So
equipment tested.
So right, it makes sense. Like it's just looking in very good conditions. So then also the gears as well as central body housing do not show any signs of heat, wear, or material detachment. Housing and gears are in good conditions as well. Again, I mean, it's just pointing out the fact that it was not even in service. So they could notice that there was some metal and plastic debris at the input flange housing that is noticeable. Besides, one of the check valves in the flange has a slight damage or wear. That's something they notice there, which I am not 100% sure following this part, but that's again, I'm just going off by what they have observed. And the other thing is the bearings, very important, and which are also in very good conditions, even if some plastic remnants are visible inside of them.
This one was leaking or just falling down?
Okay. Then we'll
Great,
show
great.
the actual, hydraulic test, which is gonna be divided in two sections. First of all, we're gonna check for the pressure or the let's say the flow to be holding position, so kind of replicating as much as we can. Replicating the failure mode that we're experiencing, which is just like lift. Keeping the bed in place, right? So it's just pressure hold in neutral position test. So what they did is just like basically hooking up the pressure into the pressure port to see if there is any internal leaks, and see if that relief valve is holding it as it's supposed to. So then when they did that, after pressure hold neutral position test, no internal leaks inside the valve body were detected. So say they do like 1,000 psi of so pressure, and then just leave it up there. Okay. And even though they could see some drifting as expected, but it's not the way. It passed the test. What they normally experience from their from this kind of pumps. Okay. And let's see. Then we just went ahead and did just a normal dump pump cycle test. Very quick. Dump pump cycle test is performed on the bench with a 2-line system. Given the bench capabilities, we wish you could do a 3-line system to replicate more what is done in the field, but we're not able to. So we just hook up the airlines to move the spool around, and the results, which as I was speaking, the test involves turning the pump at about 1,000 RPMs with practically no pressure, like I said before, and get the flow meter reading. Then gradually increasing the pressure in order to look into that relationship between how the flow efficiency is dropping by the time the pressure increases. Okay. So the test begins. And they do the pump turns at 1,000 RPM. Raise position is activated with air getting an initial flow reading of 25, almost 26 gallons per minute, which is the nominal rate of the pump, which makes all sense. There's practically no pressure, as you can see. 126 psi is a reading. Then they keep the pump running for 5 minutes while gradually increasing the pressure until reaching 2,000 psi, while keeping 1,000 RPMs of speed, which is what the factory setting is supposed to be. So a series of cycles with air were performed, simulating the pump operation in the field, obtaining positive results. Pump has passed the test, according to what we were told. Then from there on, we decided to elevate even more the pressure to see where the relief valve cracks open. Okay. So by the time it reached up to 2,400 psi, the relief valve opens up and the flow reading starts to drop. The relief valve are factory preset at 2,000, like I said, plus or minus 100 psi. Per specification, showing that the pressure had to be raised even higher than that in order to open up, as a sign that the pump was running at a different pressure setting in the field. So that's in a nutshell the entire report. We're still pending on checking the other 4 cartridges, because by the time we were sending them over to our facility in Mexico, they were lost in transit or something. So they were able to locate them already, and they're expecting to do the tests and all the rest of them by sometime next week. That's what I was told, like mid next week or something. So once I get the results from that, I'll be glad to share with you guys what we found. Let's see what else we can shed some light. So far, we only checked the one that was already on the pump. So yeah, that's essentially it. So any questions, guys?
No, I understand what you got going on here at the pump, but I think we might have missed the actual issue here. So this one that we sent in was leaking from the pressure relief valve, and that's one of the two issues that we're having. And that was leaking from the pressure relief valve, and that's why it got changed. I think that in just understanding and reading what my customer sent me, telling me that it's the issue, you telling me that the pressure may have been tampered with, but I think it's a bad word for an adjustable pressure relief valve, because it is adjustable. It's not so much tampering as far as adjusting. But to me, it makes perfect sense to see a leaking valve from somebody that doesn't know what it is and trying to turn it clockwise to tighten it to make sure it's not leaking. So for them to turn it up to 2400, I don't know how many rotations gets you per psi, but to me it makes perfect sense to see a leaking valve, loosen a jam nut, and tighten it in a little bit to make sure that wasn't the problem. So that's just my 2 cents on from what I see and what you told me. But that's kind of the problem with that. We've had the ones with the drifting, and from what I've been told, you guys see that as not a testable feature, I guess, or testable attribute of that pump, for you all. But it makes perfect sense to me between the failures I've seen and the inconsistencies I've seen in the pressure relief valve, and also you're telling me that there's some that look like, I don't know if you can go back and repeat what you said about the check valve on the flange of the pump.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. So it's one of the check valves, and the flange has a slight damage or wear. So to me, that seems like a possibility. I don't know the exact workings of the pump, but it seems like a possibility for drifting of the bed coming down.
Hey, Saul, I think we're losing you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So again, my thought is, that between that and the pressure release, to me, it seems like makes perfect sense or not perfect sense, but very plausible reasons for a cylinder to drift down if the check valve's not working, and or if a safety pressure relief is not not adjusted or is not working properly. Because I've disassembled the pressure reliefs, and I can tell you a list of problems I see with them.
Oh, okay. Like what having those? I mean, those problems, if you've seen them on the relief itself, because at the end, I mean, the check valves, not this one particularly, but the one that is on the car, because this device, as well as being a relief valve, it also has a check valve inside that is supposed to be it's intended to hold the pressure. So it's this device itself that dictates whether the bed is drifting or not. So it's coming from here more than anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, what have you seen on the cartridge?
So I think I think Paul, did you ever get a chance to get any of them and take them apart, or do you have any in IFP's possession? Any new ones?
Right now, we don't. We don't. I need to get with Larry to see if there's any extra ones. Me and Calvin haven't had a chance to get out there, but we need it. Larry, do y'all have any extra ones that we can take a look at? We were supposed to maybe grab them whenever that one initial pump came back. But if you have any extras, Larry, new or used, we'd like to go by and see some.
And also, just to mention, as far as the leak goes, I mean, on the relief, if this one with the failure mode was the actual leak on the relief valve only, they did not notice that on this one particularly when they were running.
There was no dripping at all, because that was if I remember correctly, that's the one you sent us the video, right? Saw where it was like a drip, like a slow drip.
I'll have to look if that one's this one or not. I don't remember. This was actually found by the customer once they went back to the dealership after they left my facility, and they're not in local, so I don't. It wasn't the one that I was working on. But there may have been a picture. I believe there was pictures and videos when this initially happened. But yeah. So
Aaron, are Did y'all test for that as well? Did y'all see any dripping or leaking
They,
near the
they
leak
didn't.
valve at all?
Yeah, they did not see any dripping or anything. No.
Huh.
So
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if it's any of the other ones that, I mean, they're still pending to check. I mean, and I'll find out once they do work on those.
Yeah.
They'll do the same test on all 4 of them, and then they'll give me results. I mean, kind of like this. So
so
Yeah, because I remember correctly, that was the issue with the one from Nash. It was the drip at the relief. Is that right, Saul?
Nash had so what I got from the customer was, hey, we noticed
Yeah.
a huge puddle of fluid under the truck. We've checked it coming from the pressure setting valve on the PTO at the end of the hydraulic pump. And then they started, and this is where the email started. And I believe there's pictures. I haven't been able to find it, probably in a text message or something somewhere. But that's where we ended up with this. This was not one that I personally worked on, that I sent the YouTube videos and the links from. Those were local ones that I worked on. And again, I think we had the same conversation where I was like, well, we don't know if they're leaking. And I sent videos of them leaking where you can see them coming from the stem for that reason.
That's right.
yeah.
But going back to the pressure relief valves, huge inconsistencies. So after having failure after failure after failure, and having this huge box of pressure relief valves of new ones delivered from Bazaris, I started opening them before I started to have them installed, and the inconsistencies and the problems I found, and just opening them. The brand new valves, I have some that were beat up. They look like they were, I don't know if they were maybe considered refurbished. I don't know if they were remanufactured. I had some with different, there's a strainer filter on the end of the valve. And I had some with different style strainer filters. I had some that were painted. I had some that were not painted. I had some that were every different kind of condition. Nearly all of them had bad threads, as you described, in there, fresh out of the box. And then a multitude of other failures and stuff that I don't even want to tell you, because I feel like you guys should have enough. Common courtesy to go and take apart your own product and look at how bad they are.
Yeah, without knowing this situation, now it's my first time I'm aware of that. I mean, it will be hard for us to assess this inconsistencies like you're mentioning it. So
I get, you guys know what was happening. We had 10, 12 of them, new ones and used ones, boxes and crates, and I got tired of going through the used ones, so I started opening the new ones to find, hey, there's got to be something going on here. And just time after time, like I said, they're just inconsistent. I mean, you can see machining flaws, you can see all kinds of things. I mean, there's debris inside of the valves, brand new. It's like,
Doesn't look like they were deburred at all.
none of them are deburred.
So you're saying they were brand new, and they had some debris on it?
They have debris.
Yes.
All of them have debris inside of them. All of them have shavings in them. All of them are not deburred. All of them have rough edges. All of them have machining flaws.
And Saul, just to confirm, that's from the box that we gave you.
From the box you
recently,
gave
right?
me.
It was like,
And
it was like 20 of them, right? Like 20 of them.
And to solve that issue, what did we do, Paul? Will you let them know what we did?
On that one, for that one,
to get around these pressure relief valves.
I'm trying to remember. What did we do, Saul? I'm sorry.
We ordered them from Materis.
Oh yes, that's what I did. Oh yeah, I got them a sample from Materis, and which is a company from Attica, and we ordered a complete pump, and they installed 2 of them, prototypes with no issues, and to my knowledge, right, Saul, none of these have failed in the field, right?
No, we also bought the pressure relief valves from them and installed them in your pumps, and had no problems.
0 problems, right?
No, we've had 0 problems with those.
Yeah. And that's what makes it a little more confusing too, is because from my understanding, my knowledge is that Larry and Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't majority of a dump pump from Parker, let's say Materis, Bazares, or whoever else is in that market, don't they come from 2 to 3 or 1 to 2 different vendors in China? Is that a fair statement?
Close to it.
So that's what we can't figure out is why the Materis units are coming with
Well,
really
I'm
no
not.
issues whatsoever, and these are coming with like Saul said, Saul and Travis. I didn't realize that the ones we gave you in the box as reliefs had like trash in them out the box.
We didn't
I didn't.
we
I
didn't
wasn't
start
aware of that.
That's news to me.
investigating until those were failing also.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about where
And
Materis sources.
and that's why I asked you, Paul, to just to get a few new ones and just take them apart. All you gotta do is take the screw, unscrew the nuts. Is all you gotta do, and they come apart. And that's why
Larry, do
I
you
asked you
have
to.
some there?
That's why I asked you to do it, so you can see what they look like.
No, you're right. You're right. We have failed to get to the woodlands to grab some of those. Larry, do you have any of those at your location?
I think
Any of the
there's still
reliefs?
some. I think there's still some here. I'll have to look around because we sent. I'm not sure what the quantity was that Aaron mentioned to Mexico that
I think they're like
got
4. Hold on.
got delayed in a freight loss, but they've got them now. And I think it's 4 extras.
So
So
this is a
that's come through.
brand new one out of the box.
Okay.
You see the dings, the rust, the just what I mean. We talk about tampering with screws. This is what a new one looks like that I got as a replacement. That looks tampered with to me. I would call it tampering if I open a new one. I don't know about if I adjusted one, but this definitely looks like it's been I mean, and you can just see like
Yeah, just from my view, what do you guys think? That looks like that's definitely been quite beat up. I see what you're saying there.
and
What
I
do you
mean you
guys
can
can
see
you see
my
that,
they're
Larry?
still
And
oily. Look at my fingers. They're still oily. They're still fresh out of the package with that whatever Chinese oil that's used to keep them from
Yeah.
oxidating. But you can see these threads. I mean, we can go back and forth about this, but I mean, this is what's coming in and out, and then this is a replacement. This is supposed to be,
So
I don't know. When my customers have problems and they ask for things, you know what I do? I check the product before I send them a replacement. I mean, that's kind of just, that's where my frustration is coming from.
Aaron or Larry, can y'all tell if that's I mean, can you guys confirm or deny it? Like if if these are the ones we gave to them, were they refurbished units or were they brand new out the box?
I mean,
Or
I
relief?
would have thought I'm in there, out of the box, but I mean,
We didn't open them though.
we didn't
But
open them.
as far as we knew, they were brand new,
Right.
straight from stock from the factory. But we didn't open them before we brought them over or sent them over.
That's a great catch on your end, Saul. Yeah. I guess Larry, if you have
Yeah.
some there that we could open up and look at and see what's there. I mean, if they're all have debris and damaged threads and look used, I mean,
so
we got to figure out
another
are these refurbed or used or what?
another thing we noticed on these cross section holes that are done at an angle, you can see where
Yeah.
the drill bit broke through and there's still shavings on the inside. So it only takes a few times for those to break loose.
You can't see. It's kind of hard. I'm trying to get a good angle where you can see the burrs on these cross holes. They're at a. I can't really see very well, but I don't know. Just like I said, you guys take them apart. That's why I wanted you guys to open your own new ones and look how different, how they can look different from one to one, what you're gonna find on the inside. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to take the screws out and see what's in there. Whether you can put it back together or not, it's fine. But just open it up. I mean,
Okay. Yeah. We can go through that and
So
and see it, because that was new to
Well,
me,
what,
at least.
I know we don't have any new ones here. All we have here, if we have anything, is some of those that we brought back from Strong.
okay,
Oh,
well,
so okay, so no news. Okay.
well, again, like I said, for us, I mean, I'm kind of I feel like I know what's going on here, and I know what my problem is. You guys can continue investigating on your end further about that part of it. But if you could do anything for me, it'd be figuring out why we're having bolts shear. If there's any, inspect that one PTO that you guys received. If you have any input on that, because that's a current issue that I'm having with a lot of those PTOs, and I need some feedback. I don't need feedback on these dump pumps. I know what's wrong with them.
And so, just curious, besides the one that we sent back with the sheared bolts that we're waiting on an update from Eden Bazaars, how many more have you had like that with the
About
sheared bolt issue?
I think 5 of them.
Really? Okay. Wow. So I guess Team Eden Bazaar is that's such a tough one, because right, so all them, you got to pull every single one off, right? RMA, or
And,
if we have a solution for you to
and I
avoid
have
that,
them.
that's going to be
I have, and we can. I already know the first thing we're going to do is brackets. I've had my customers go and double check the brackets and double. It happened to their first truck. Please check your other 3 trucks. Okay, we'll check them. And then sure enough, a couple weeks later, we got another one. Just if you can provide me some feedback there, I mean that's where I'm. I feel like I could use some input, but as quick as possible, please. I mean, like I said, I don't know what to do there. I don't have an answer for that one.
And Aaron, I'm back to my laptop, so I'll get you that RMA number, that one internal email I asked about the sheared bolts, as far as when the asked you guys when the evaluation was going to be done. You asked for the VGA number, VTA number. I'll get that to you right now. That way we could hopefully expedite to get them some sort of answer on the one that we have in house.
I was told that they were going to be expedited to Spain, and that the only restriction we were going to have was going to be logistics of things moving from place to place, country to country, and we're, I don't know, weeks in on that. I mean,
4 weeks. 4 weeks.
4 weeks
How
into
many
that,
have been,
and I know there was a little bit of delay. Go ahead.
How many have been returned?
Just that one.
One.
I'm waiting for an answer, because I'm having the same way that I didn't get a good answer or a good inspection out of these pressure relief valves. As I don't know if I trust your judgment to inspect the other ones I have. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Do you blame me? All right. So if you can come up, if you can give me some answers there, that's really what I need. Because like I said, I just, one way or another, that can't continue to happen on those trucks we have out there.
And so when I
one more thing, I try to double check and torque those bolts, like the ones that are shearing, and you really can't get a torque wrench into that spot because of the placement. And so that's one email that we were going back and forth about torque to yield bolts and making sure they're tight, because I was going to check the tightness of all of them, but I could not find a way that I felt that I would be accurately checking the torque. But I did take that picture to show of one of them, at least, that they were not. We don't modify them. We don't take them apart for any reason. So
yeah, you just pull them out the box and install.
There's
nothing done to them. Yep.
We're not rotating.
And just to confirm, Saul, just to confirm, there's the one sheared bolt issue they have at Eden Bazaars, and you got 4 more in the field with the current same issue, correct? Total of 5.
Approximately, maybe 5 additional. I don't remember. I got to look through them. I've been fighting with these and 10 other things. So
I got you. Okay. Well then, as soon as we hang up here, I'll call Aaron and Larry, and they need that VGA number just to see where it's at, and we'll hope to have something for you ASAP on that as well.
Yep.
So Aaron or Larry, do y'all have anything else to share as far as regarding the current situation, or? pretty much where we're at, everybody.
Can we get a copy of that report, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Can-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so Saul, Travis, thank you guys for joining on a short notice. Thank you, Larry and Aaron, as well, for joining on a short notice.
Thank you guys.
And I hope to have you guys some feedback ASAP.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye.